What if you were the unlucky protagonist of the Poppy Playtime universe? Player, can you imagine trying to survive in that hellish factory filled with toys that would rather tear you apart than hug you? Well, today we're analyzing how long you'd last in each chapter before ending up as a human puzzle. So, how long would we survive before being brutally eliminated? We'll break down how complicated the puzzles are, how treacherous the minigames can be, and most importantly, whether we have any realistic chance of completing each chapter. Chapter 1: Survive or Die in Ridiculous Ways. Alright, here we are in an abandoned factory. Like a true horror movie protagonist, you decide to stick around instead of doing the logical thing, running for your life. But since we're already here, let's analyze how likely you are to survive. The first puzzles. The start of the game is a breeze. You have to find a color code on a toy train to open a door. Easy, right? Well, not if you're the type to skip details and get frustrated easily. If you get stuck here, please reconsider your entire gaming career. After this, we get to the first major challenge, the Grab Pack. This gadget lets you launch extendable hands to press buttons from a distance and move objects. In theory, it's a genius invention. In practice, it's a ticking bomb if you don't use it correctly. Misusing the Grab Pack equals to instant electrocution. The next puzzle involves directing electricity from point A to point B using the correct cables. Seems simple, but if you mess up, congratulations! You just turned yourself into a human light bulb with a high voltage shock. Now we get to Huggy Wuggy, the most disturbing plush ever. This is where your common sense should kick in. You're in an abandoned factory, and there's a 7-foot tall plushie standing in the middle of the room, greeting you. Nothing suspicious about that, right? You keep exploring, solving more puzzles, like retrieving the blue grab pack hand to proceed, and then Huggy disappears. Any sane person would say, okay, I'm out of here. But not you. Nope, you keep going because clearly you want to die. The factory becomes a nightmare at this point. The factory starts turning against you. You reach a conveyor belt puzzle where you must move boxes to clear the path. Then there's the recycling room, where one wrong step can trigger a trash avalanche that buries you alive. Congrats! You just died as industrial waste. If you survive that, you'll reach the final puzzle, activating cranes to drop boxes in the right place. And this is where Huggy decides it's time to play hide and seek. But you're the prey. The air vent chase. 90% of players die here. Now comes the moment of truth, running for your life through air vents while a demonic plushie hunts you down. Here are some of the many ways you can die. Panic and forget the path. Huggy catches you and turns you into his neck. The wrong vent. Congratulations, you just entered an industrial shredder. Get stuck. Game over because Huggy doesn't stop. Fail to jump at the end. Free fall. Goodbye. If somehow you don't mess up and manage to drop a box on Huggy, you survive. But the worst part? This was only chapter 1. Now let's analyze if you would survive. If this were real, 90% of us would be dead already. But if you can stay calm, solve puzzles without mentally collapsing, and have decent reflexes during the chase, you have a 70% chance of making it out alive. But are you sure you want to continue to chapter 2? Chapter 2, the worst reality show of your life. Welcome to the worst children's game competition that ends in death. In this special episode of Survive If You Can, our host is a giant pink spider with homicidal tendencies who forces you to play 3 deadly minigames while laughing at your suffering. Sounds fun? It's not! But since we're trapped here, let's figure out how not to die. Minigame 1, Musical Memory, Death by Bad Rhythm. If you've ever played Bop It or Simon Says, you've got a slight advantage. The mechanics are simple. Repeat the color and sound sequences you're given. But of course, this isn't a carnival game. If you mess up, a robotic bunny with steel teeth crushes your skull. To survive, stay calm. If you panic, you'll start pressing buttons randomly. Have a good memory. If your memory is bad as a goldfish, you're done. Last until the final round. If you reach the end without errors, you can press the escape button and survive. In conclusion, if your memory is decent and you don't get scared easily, you have high chances of making it through. If not, well, Bonzo Bunny will be the last thing you'll ever see. Minigame 2, Whack a Huggy, Paranoia in the Dark. It's basically whack-a-mole, but instead of cute moles, tiny Huggy Wuggies pop out of tunnels, ready to bite your face off. To survive, you must have god-tier reflexes. The mini Huggies are fast, so you need to be faster. Use the grab pack properly. You should already know how by now. Don't panic. If you spin around like a Beyblade, you'll get dizzy and die. If you stay focused, you'll get through this. If not, well, the mini Huggies will shed you into confetti. Minigame 3. Statues. Move and die. If you watch Squid Game, you know the drill. When the music plays, you move. When it stops, you freeze. Easy, right? Not quite. Problems include the curse is designed to kill you, traps, obstacles, and a foam pit that can trap you. You have to move fast, but not too fast or you'll fall into the abyss. The Pug Pillar is a psycho. Don't let his toy-like appearance fool you. If he catches you, you're toast. The biggest danger here isn't the monster itself, but the endless pits scatter everywhere. If you don't handle the grab pack correctly, you'll fall and become a pancake. The final nightmare, Mommy Long Legs Chase. If you thought things couldn't get worse, you were dead wrong. Now, you must spin through a factory full of dangerous machinery, activate giant furnaces, pull random levers, and swing like Tarzan. One mistake and you're finished. To survive, you must run like you owe someone money. Solve the puzzles fast. This is not time for overthinking. Just do it fast. And don't fall. Again, because bottomless pits are still a thing. If you guess the train code at the end, you escape and survive, but if you hesitate for too long, 60% chance you die. So, would you survive? If you barely made it through Chapter 1, Chapter 2 is even harder. You need speed, memory, nerves of steel, and absolute precision to avoid a humiliating death. So, are you ready for Chapter 3? Let's check out the survival odds. If you're good at games and don't panic, 80% chance of making it out alive. If you get confused easily and are scared of jump scares, 40%. And that's being generous. Anyway, this chapter is pure hell. And if you thought things couldn't get worse, Chapter 3 is waiting for you. Chapter 3. Catnap and his eternal dream gas. If you thought a murderous pink spider was the worst thing that could happen to you, let me introduce you to Catnap, the cat that wants to put you to sleep. Permanently. This isn't Garfield just looking for lasagna and a nap. This is a stealthy predator stalking you like you're a helpless little mouse. And the worst part about this demon cat? He moves in complete silence. No footsteps, no growls, no warnings. He's just there and you won't even notice. If you have ninja reflexes and can't hear enemy footsteps from 2 miles away in Warzone, you might survive. If you react slower than a Windows XP startup, forget it. This cat is sending you straight to sleep, permanently. But before we even worry about surviving Catnap, we first have to deal with his partner, Miss Delight. Delight's minigame is the kind that absolutely destroys your patience. You have to keep looking at her so she doesn't move, and if you look away, she sends you straight to the afterlife. If this were real life, you could cheat in a bunch of ways, strategically placing mirrors or turning your head like an owl to always keep an eye on her. But the best method is to simply keep your eyes locked on her, and inching forward while kicking objects out of your way. So let's rate this at about 40% difficulty. And as if dealing with a murderous cat and teleporting doll wasn't bad enough, the environment itself is also designed to make your life a nightmare. There is no safe place here. Toxic gas. We don't know exactly what it does, but it's probably not a soothing lavender scent. Contaminated water. Because sure, let's throw in some poison while we're at it. If you're not a master of the grab pack by now, this is a moment you'll regret not practicing from the start. Now let's talk about Nightmare Huggy Wuggy, the ultimate scare. And the worst part? When he shows up, you're completely drugged. Yep, because this game is all about suffering, you also have to hallucinate terrifying monsters while your body barely responds. If you scare easily, there's a high chance of having a real-life heart attack before Huggy Wuggy even does anything. Thankfully, this scare is the only canonical jump scare so far, meaning that if you survive this moment of extreme panic, you're still in the game. But if you thought things couldn't get worse, surprise! Here come the infernal reinforcements. Smiling critters. They're afraid of fire. If you have sniper level aim, don't worry, just point and shoot and you'll be fine. Dog Day. This isn't just some regular dog, it's a possessed freak. If you hesitate for even a second, it will obliterate you in the blink of an eye. The key here is to make quick, ruthless decisions, leave emotions behind and strike before it does. At the end of the day, the real villain isn't the treacherous map, the hellish creatures, or even Nightmare Huggy Wuggy. It's Catnap. This cursed cat isn't just lightning fast and as stealthy as a ninja trained by Batman. He also puts you to sleep with his toxic gas. What's in that gas? No one knows. Maybe a mix of Valium, clonazepam, and an ancient Babylonian curse. But the only thing that's certain is that if he hits you with it, it's instant game over. If even coffee can't keep you awake, sorry buddy, this is your final stop. But if you're already the king of insomnia, congratulations, you have a slightly higher survival rate than the rest. But let's be real, this purple cat is responsible for 80% of player deaths. The only way to beat him is to be an insomniac pro with the reflexes of an X-Men. So our chances of surviving this chapter drop drastically just to 30%. Now let's step into the final hell. Chapter 4, which honestly, if you made it this far alive, it's only so you can die here. Trust me. If you thought the previous chapters were hard, get ready to watch your life expectancy drop to 0 in record time. This chapter isn't just hell on earth, it's a buffet of suffering. Harley Sawyer is about to make things harder than a surprise calculus exam, and the worst part? He's not alone. This time, it's not just one, not two, it's every demon creature combined, on steroids, ready to turn you into mush. But let's break it down. You're getting caught no matter what. It doesn't matter how fast you run or how badly you want to live. This damn possessed lion is hunting you down faster than Lightning McQueen. Doey. The one we thought was on our side, but then he loses it and becomes one of the most dangerous enemies. In the game, he was cool with us, but in real life, if he grabs you with one of his hands, just start riding your will. There's no escape. How do you even get away from something with 3 heads? You don't, man. You don't. But the worst part is yet to come. After so many killer toys, you'd think nothing could surprise us anymore. But Harley Sawyer is on another level. We don't know what he is, we don't know how he thinks, and we don't even know why he enjoys watching us suffer so much. What we do know is that he took every single thread from the first 3 chapters and Project Playtime, blended them together, and served up a double dose of horror. And no, you're not dying quickly and painlessly. Oh no, this chapter is an advanced tutorial on how to lose body parts. An arm gone instantly thanks to liquid nitrogen, a finger lost to the saw, a deadly combo of electrocution, falling, scraping, and bloodbath, courtesy of the demonic toys. And if you run into Harley, just forget about happy ending. He wouldn't just kill you, he'll turn you into a failed experiment and then recycle you as part of his twisted collection of victims. Survival odds? 100% chance of dying. There's no escape, not even God can save you. Now, if you're a monster controlling professional, have mastered every mechanic, and somehow dodged every single danger, congratulations, you've raised your survival chances to 10%. But don't get your hopes up. If you make it out of this chapter alive, you'll be missing limbs, permanently traumatized, and forever terrified of stuffed toys. Final survival average? 15%. Honestly, we don't have much faith in anyone making it out alive. Now, let's say you made it, completed chapter 4. Well, you're still in for a battle against this guy. But well, tell me in the comments, would you dare to try it? What techniques would you use?